Okay, so this is going to be a short little video about my favorite Hasbro Transformers. I'll start down over here and work my way up to the big boys. Combiner Wars Rodimus, because I like the remolding of the head and all the paint and that. And how the Blackjack mold was already pretty good. And then this Warpath over here because of the paint. But the only gripe I have with this is the head sculpt. I mean, it could have been a little bit better, but I just love how all the paint stuff works with him. And AOE Voyager Drift. I like him because of all the paint and stuff. The gold paint is better on here than the deluxe. But the blue isn't, because it's just blue and not teal like on the deluxe. And I also like Windblade too, because she can pose a lot, and I don't know, it's just I like how thin this figure is. That's a turnoff for some people, but I'm fine with it. And gold and stuff in there, and I got the second version too. That's probably why I like it. Because everything's all tightened up and has the different paint apps and stuff. And then this Combiner Wars, or yeah, this Combiner Wars Legends Bombshell, because the paint, his bug mode, and this fact that he has cannon fists. I like that. And then this trio, Starscream trio. I really liked Starscream when it came out. I mean, I had the old Legends class, and that was my stand-in for until I got him, and I always wanted him when I had that thing. When I finally got him, I mean, yeah, I liked him. I liked him a lot and stuff. He was more streamlined. He looked a lot better, but he was just too bland, so I had to add a little bit panel lining in him, and he turned out pretty good. And then his two brothers over there, Thundercracker and Skywarp, because the paint on their chest and how just all three are just right there. It'd have to be something you'd have to experience and by yourself. And then the custom Megatron that I made, which I sprayed with the clear coat. I reviewed that. I loved how this thing turned out, and I loved how he had the red T-Rex mode before when he was T-Rex. He turned out pretty good, and you know, before that, before I painted him, he was still one of my favorite molds, so I had to throw him in here. That's why you'll see a couple of customs. I'll start with this one too. I kind of didn't want to put him in here, but you know, he's pretty good. I mean, at first when I didn't touch him up, you know, you'll see the black lines and stuff because I had to panel line him and stuff. I don't know if you can see it on the face too. It's not going to focus. Okay. He was bland like Starscream though. Panel lining, touching him up and stuff. I think I'm gonna need to put some repro labels on him too. Yeah, he's an awesome mold. I'd probably put Brainstorm up here too, but I haven't gotten one yet. But I definitely love Headmasters. Go down over here. This is one of the RAD Autobot brothers. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name that well. I'll just say them all though, but not the names, but I'll say them all as a favorite trio, like the Starscreams over there, because the paintwork is just phenomenal. I mean, you could see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually metallic in the blue, and the chrome and everything, and it just works. It's sort of like what I want to see when I make a model car. I mean, especially on this guy and this guy. This guy's a little bit bland, but I really love this one though, because he's got the hip pieces. He's got that shield on his arm. He's got the. I don't like his gun things. that attach on the spoiler. But other than that, yeah, he's one of my favorite of the three. Him and him. I know I think that's Prowl, or this is X-Brawn. Prowl, X-Brawn, and Sideburn. Yeah, that's the name. Prowl is probably my second favorite. He's my first because of the little gimmick in here where you can flip this up. You can reveal the engine. Only problem I have with him is him standing. Sometimes it doesn't work that well, and just the fear of the rubber tires on these guys, but they've held up. It's also the price that I got them for. I got them all for 20 shipped. It's a pretty awesome deal. I mean, I guess shout out to the guy if he ever watches this video and he sees I had the three. But anyway, this is from the Energon line. This was when they were doing that Super Link stuff or whatever, and they were doing repaints of stuff. This is that Megatron repaint into Galvatron, and I just love this thing. I mean, I use him as a stand-in for my masterpiece Galvatron as of right now, and for my IDW Galvatron, because he's a little bit taller than Megatron, which I probably should have put him on here because, yeah, the Commander Wars Megatron, that should be here too, but yeah, he has awesome paint. So is this guy, because the red right in there, it's just shiny and awesome. Silvers, he's got silver on the legs too. You can't see it that well. Silver, silverish, like dark gray stuff in there. Silver on the face, and the mold is just awesome too. He's a little lacking in posability, but when you put him on the shelf, especially next to something like Commander Wars Skywarp, it works. Anyway, next one. It's animated Shockwave, because I can change him from Autobot to Decepticon, and I can mess around with him in any way I want. I mean, I can have him in any way preferenced, like how I do now. His head isn't all hunched down how it should be in long arm mode. It's actually elongated, and I had to flip the thing out. And I just love the articulation, and I had a connection to this because when I was younger, I had one of these, and it got torn up and stuff by one of my dogs, and I didn't have one since. But when I went up to TFCon, I grabbed this guy, and it was awesome. No paint defects or anything, and all the teal. Yes, I love teal on figures too. He's also got them in here, but for Autobot mode, I don't like to have these flipped out, but I could. The teal and the red, I really like that part too. And then Rat Trap. I love the paint on this guy. I love the molding. I love the articulation. But the Beast mode is lacking because mouse. But it could have been better. It really could have, because, you know, Megatron over there, he had articulation, and he was not Megatron, T-Rex. He was made before this guy, like a long, maybe what, 10 years or something. But I love the calves, especially right here. Painted toenails. All the detail on here, I wouldn't have to touch this guy up at all, because he just looks good. I mean, he just works. And now to the finale, which is Combiner Wars Devastator. As you can see, I've added some touch-ups to him. You know, I need to work on the hands a little bit more. I added the silver in there, and in there that the Takara will have. I panel lined him so you can see all the detail more. Painted the rims, and painted the head and stuff. painted the treads. But before all that, I really loved this guy. I mean, I really did. I'd mess around with him a lot, but now that he has paint, you know, a little bit afraid to mess with him. But stuff on his head is finally dried because I use semi-gloss black, just so I just use the enamel by itself because I didn't want to clear coat it or anything because I didn't want it shiny, I didn't want it flat. And yeah, he turned out exactly what I wanted from him. I mean, when I got him first, I was blown away how awesome he was. He has all this articulation. He works for combiner mode. He was a little bit loose in some of his arms, but that's easy to fix. But over here, I was still using super glue. Don't use that stuff. Either use floor polish or nail polish, because the super glue that I was using, it was crazy glue, and it started to melt some plastic. Like, you'd see burn marks and stuff. So I had to paint in there. You wouldn't notice unless I told you. But I had to paint in there a different color. Well, actually, not a different, almost exact color, so it'd match again. And yeah, this guy is huge. This guy is awesome. And the reason why I got him was to replace Hercules. If you're going to do that, well, if you want to do that, don't do that. I mean, Hercules is just way different from this guy. But if you're willing to work on him and make him, you know, better, even though he's pretty good already, but I already have them all painted up, so, you know, I probably won't have to get the upgrade kits or whatever, but I want to go for that Dr. Wu thing. I don't know about the repro labels or anything about that, but I just want to replace that stupid leg. Sick of that thing, and whenever I see photos of it too, but when you get them as a set, this thing is massive. I thought these guys were all going to be smaller, and then I was going to be disappointed, but when I took them out, I couldn't stop messing with them. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's my favorite Hasbro Transformers. I'm not so sure about this guy though. I just wanted to put him in. I don't know if they were still using Kenner to make this stuff, but this was during Beast Machines. That's why I brought him in here. But yeah, there you go.